Hello friends, welcome to the Finding Freedom podcast. This week's question is, how do I disidentify from ego? What a great question. It's not easy. When we're identified with ego, that means we are in the land of lack, so to speak, and believing that something is wrong. Maybe we're depressed, maybe we are angry, maybe we're ruminating over a situation, or we're confused. It's any place that you can imagine where something is wrong and you're in a story about something being wrong, something is lacking, something should be different. And it's your fault, probably, or somebody else's fault, probably. And it can feel like this is so true and there's no way to go around it. It's just what is going on. And so how do we disidentify from ego when we're completely in it, believing it, living it? It's our reality. Well, I'm sure you can guess what I'm going to say first, which is make sure you have a twice daily meditation program. And yes, there are great sages who don't need to meditate, and there are even great discussions about this that I understand, but we'll leave that for another topic, and for the great sages of the world that we can count on one hand throughout the centuries. For us, meditation twice daily is certainly not going to hurt, and it's going to make coming into clarity so much easier, basically even possible. So, secondly, after meditating twice daily, excellent self-care. I always allude to this, but it's crucial. It's crucial to be eating properly. And I coach people on holistic wellness. If you would like to reach out to me, I can give you the basics, and we can get into more detail as well about that. Having enough sleep, exercising gently, not overdoing it. Moving the body is very important. Maybe doing yoga, so all of these kinds of things. These will all help us so that we don't get hooked by ego so easily. And if we do, and we will, even if we're doing all these great things, we will be able to be stepped back enough to take some additional steps to step free completely. I'm fond of making bold statements. I'm going to make another one today, and it is, there is nothing wrong. When we're identified with ego, we won't believe this. And belief isn't the greatest word. I don't hold beliefs, but we won't agree with this. But we can write it down in several places and post it all over wherever we live, wherever we, maybe in our car, in our office. There is nothing wrong is a great reminder. So the work is always internal. It's not external. If we depend on external circumstances being a certain way in order for us to be well or okay even, we're giving away our power, and we're buying into a lie that something is wrong. Our well-being is unconditional. And you know why? Because we're not a separate self. We are, in fact, presence. Presence is only available here, now. It's not available in thinking up in the head. It's not available when something turns out a certain way in the future, or something had happened a different way back in the past. It's what is here right now. The only reason we don't experience the fact that nothing is wrong is because we're in the past reviewing something, and then we're in the future anticipating and wishing and projecting. So there is no separate self. And this is the best news. Again, there's no free will outside of surrender. This is the best news. Why? Because it sets us free from having to pretend like we can control anything or that we need to control anything. We can let that go. We are life. We are presence. This body is a vessel. It's an energetic part of life, but it's an antenna. We are not the body. We need not define ourselves that way, because this is an error. We are not our thoughts, as we discussed last week. We don't even have control over the thoughts. They're not who we are. We are not the mind, aka the thoughts. We are not anything. We're not our career. We're not the mask that we hold up for people to think we are. We're not the identity that we try to maintain so effortfully. We're none of these things. Nobody else is either. See through it. See through it and feel the oneness, the love that is who we are, the bliss. So when we're identified with ego, we are forgetting who we are. We are not present when we're identified with ego. We're in the head. We're believing stories. We're stuck in the past, and we're in the future, and we're in some maybe imaginary parallel reality. We have, and I'm going to say we don't even have, but we are what we seek. And we are exactly what we seek. We do not need to be any different. That which we seek is what we are. That which we seek is causing us to seek. We are the divine. There's no separate self that is better or worse than anyone else. We are all one. Now, this may need to be experienced before it can be understood. But since it's the truth, it's the highest wisdom, we all resonate with it. And because it is who we are, we do have the experience. Don't let New Age speak about manifestation and special powers and traveling to distant lands and finding a master and having the right jewelry and crystals and rituals. Don't let that, and having the certain experience of, quote, deep meditation. Ignore this. This is spiritual ego and or spirituality that's been hijacked, which is essentially reinforcing the very issue, which is that everything that we need is external. No, it's not. Your well-being is not in a crystal. Your well-being is not in your astrological chart. You're not going to be better off if you travel to a distant land. Trust me, I've done that. And it didn't. I found freedom on my living room floor, sitting. So, the thing about manifestations, the reason why I bring that up, is that it it's basically inferring that what we need is not already here, that we must manifest something in order to be in a better off situation. You see how that just reinforces lack? And I know that it's twisted, so, oh no, but they're saying that it's, when you're coming from a place of abundance, that's when you manifest. But no, we already have. That's the secret. We already are. Nothing needs to change. The only thing that is, we already are what we want. And it's not about changing the externals. It's about recalibrating our perspective, letting go all of the conditioning and the assumptions and the belief systems, etc., and so on, the identities, all of those things that we thought held our truth, when in fact we already are, and we need to let that go in order to experience it. So let me know what your thoughts are. Share your questions and your comments below. If you enjoyed this, I hope that you found it very helpful. Please share it with your friends, and feel free to give this a like, subscribe, and I send you blessings, light, and presence. Namaskar.